Detroit, Detroit is different. Detroit, Detroit is different. Culture and life we live in. Detroit, Detroit is different. Detroit, Detroit is different. Detroit, Detroit is different. Culture and life we live in. Detroit, Detroit is different.
Welcome back to the Detroit is Different podcast studios. And in studio, I have a guest that's been here before, one of the biggest supporters of Detroit is Different. And actually, the collaboration is even going deeper this year. So I've been present at this film festival. But right now, I'm more than present. I'm presenting a piece inside of the film festival. And when I talk about the film festival, many things done. The Trinity Film Festival, which we connect with international films of all types and backgrounds. But you already know the Detroit Black Film Festival, ain't nothing gonna get more Detroit is different than that. Marshalle Favors, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Definitely glad to have you back. And you have welcomed a debt owed, not a handout, into the film festival. So I submitted through, for anybody that's interested in film festivals, it's this website where it has many different festivals. You can submit and everything. And it came back where it was like, yep, it was selected. So it's not one of those things where, because I know them, I can be like, yo, is my film going to get in? No, it's a committee. It's a whole process. They let me know that beforehand. So just because you cool with them, as they're doing a whole lot of stuff with the collective and everything, doesn't mean your film will get in or win or anything else.
Yes.
I strongly suggest you connecting through these film festivals. So let's talk a little bit about Black Film Festival. You've given the history before, how you did it, but this year, what's happening with it?
I'm so excited about this year. One, for the Detroit Black Film Festival, it's our 6th year for this festival. But, we've been curating film festivals for about 20 years. Woo, it's been a journey. And every single year it gets just bigger, greater, the selection of films, and when people come, they're gonna have a good time because we have just across the board, in terms of like entertaining folks, we have, comedy and sci-fi and drama and the documentaries like your documentary. I'm really, really excited what people are gonna enjoy at this year's festival. So it's jointly done. You know this. We're gonna talk about this at a later date when you have my husband on also, but it's the film festival, but it's also coupled with Taste of Black Spirits as well. So that's like also a part of the entertainment component to it. And we have a lot of folks that are flying in from around the world that they're coming to Detroit. And some of them, what I love about it is the fact that some of these folks are coming to Detroit for the very first time.
And that's very cool. And also, you have multiple locations. We're going to talk about the locations and everything. But first, before we even go there, the collective and what you're doing with the collective. It is a soundstage and mini production, multi-use, multi-purpose space right in Metro Detroit in Southfield. And it's a whole floor of so many different sets that could turn for commercials or for film or for television. We shot that Howie Bell Tough on Greens commercial over there for the collard green cook-off. And I'm introducing that because now you've always been involved in film, but you're way more immersed in film, a whole lot more now. What's the relationship now, even watching the way that when you began looking at filmmakers to watching these films come together now, and how is that even adding to the creativity of the film festivals?
It's because we're more in control of our own destiny now, right?
Mhm.
Because as filmmakers, now you talked about the collective, because that is the word, is the collective, right? And even my husband with Taste of Black Spirits, the collective behavior tour. It's about collective behavior. What can we do when we pool our resources together, our talent together? We can make a huge impact. And so the collective specifically is happened because 13 independent filmmakers came together to create this space. It's like 10,000 square feet. And it's like you said, it's just like a whole playground of different sets where, people can come and be creative. And just to give folks an idea, there's like a courtroom, there's a bar area, there's a restaurant, there's a church, there's a beauty salon, and then another
It's a hotel, and then the medical
hot
unit, it's like it's like a checkup room, it's a ICU, it's a regular medical bed, it is a airplane, it
airport.
is a room that looks like just a lawyer's office, it's a hotel room, it's a hotel lobby, it's a green screen, it's all types of stuff in there.
It is, and so going back to your question, these were spaces for us that were the most difficult, like, to get. Like, you're
Mm.
shooting a movie, you have a, big plan for it, but, try to book an actual courthouse or an actual, how about an airport? Which we've done on occasions, but there's so many things that can happen when you have the outside public and you're also coordinating spaces. So it's about being in control of the space and the place, and to have everything right there for you to create. It helps, budget wise, and it also just helps to be around other creatives. And within the space, also one of the filmmakers, one of the companies is actually a distribution company as well. So it's everything in house. We can produce, manufacture, and distribute our own films. So now we're more in control of our destiny, our art, how it gets out, and also, it's about creating in a space and place where we're doing it collaborative.
So, how does that now, just working with the filmmakers, how does that even help you, or what impact does that have on even you looking at the film festival itself? Because now you're engaging with filmmakers so much more often. Though you've been doing it for 20 years, it's different. Like, I assume now just immersed around them in the thought process and the actors and the makeup people, the sound people. Like, you're immersed almost like any day of the week you walk in, you could walk into a movie set.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And the other thing is that everyone gets to learn from one another. So it's a creative space, but it's also a place where we're learning and we're growing. So no matter what your talent is, the from the directors, the producers, the actors, because we're doing it more often, because the content we're constantly like creating content. Everybody else is also being able to immerse themselves in, the growth of one another. Everybody wants to see each other win. So that's what's, the beauty about the space. And then you have a platform like the festival where people can showcase their art, their talent, as well. And so that just contributes to, like, the whole ecosystem of what we got going on.
Okay. All right. And as I say, more so, looking at the scope of this year's festival, a lot of different types of films, different lengths, different story backgrounds. Like, getting my package, I'm looking at some of them and I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. That definitely sounds interesting. Even the shorts themselves and the arc of that. Are you familiar with any of the other directors or writers or actors in any of these other films that are presenting this year?
Well, I'm proud to say that some of the filmmakers are returning filmmakers.
Mm.
That's, like, one of the biggest compliments, that you can ever have is when, folks come, they enjoy your festival, but then they come back, as well. And, and, am I familiar with some of 'em? Again, we have everyone from the emerging, filmmakers,
Mhm.
and actors
That's me.
to to the very well established, actors as well. And, like, shout out to You know, Gregory Allen Williams, who is a veteran in the industry and, was in our festival, last year, had a film, has a film in the festival this year. We have we have one film that's a short film that, the acclaimed actress Jennifer Lewis,
Hmm.
is in, and
Cool.
we, even we have a few films where there's, folks who are in, kinda like the rap game and who are a part of it. You have to go to the schedule to see, like, the full array of films that we have, but we also have folks who are it's their, like, first time filmmakers, first time ever in a festival,
Hmm.
and so we wanna make sure that you're immersed with folks from different who are on the spectrum, like, of the industry, so that everybody has a chance to learn, grow, and connect, together, and I say that because early on, my very first festival experience, which is why I created the festival, here in Detroit, was like that. When I was very novice in the industry and didn't know, like, a lot, folks who were, you know, just pillars in the film industry attended the festival, and I was able to there wasn't, like, this velvet rope experience where, folks were kinda, like, divided. Everybody was, there together having this same experience, and that's how I was able to grow and learn, and I want that same experience to happen to those who are creatives that are coming to our festival.
Well, I'm definitely excited about this as I'm that. People know I put definitely a lot of video stuff together. This a debt old. It took a lot to piece
Mm.
this together. And I have other stories that I definitely want to tell in more of a documentary format. But it was fulfilling just seeing how people respond to it, but just knowing that I'm gonna be in a room on a larger screen watching it and watching people respond. I've seen it a little bit with the first presentation, but now that it's a part of something that's more built on film and not just like Black History Month, and no offense to Black History Month, you know, but remember we live Black history every day.
Every
Shout
day,
out to
all
Carter
day.
G. Woodson. But I, I'm excited about that, especially now. Just I mean, Hollywood's not necessarily welcoming a lot of large crowds to theaters, so like to be able to get that feeling of others responding to like, okay, do they get that joke? Did they get the transition? Are they watching? Are they paying attention? I'm just very interested in that. Very interested in that.
And you bring up a very good point also about, being in the theater, feeling the energy for the folks that are attending. People ask me what they can do all the time, like to help support the festival. And I always tell people the same thing. Bring people,
Mm.
tell people about your experience. Look at the schedule like ahead of time, see what it is that you're interested in. And we really want to connect to community as well. So if we have a film that the focus is on a specific, subject or topic, we want to connect with those in the communities that can relate to some of those topics as well. There's a lot of options today, right? You can watch a lot of content online, but this is an in person experience. We want people to be able to connect with the stories, connect with the filmmakers, connect with all the creatives in the room, and also to help to spread the word because a lot of folks don't realize also that independent films you don't have those like those large marketing budgets
Mm-mm.
out there to get the word out about your film. So this is one of the greatest experiences that you can have to have like that on the ground experience and then also have someone to tell someone about their experience and about the stories that they're watching.
Yeah, I can definitely say I love getting the email, love finding out. I'm looking forward to the screening and welcoming and inviting my people to come check that out and check out what'll be happening in the day. Many different venues too, as I saw. Like it's traveling from place to place. I saw the Love Buildings down, Charles
Right.
Wright. How do you go about making the places that you're gonna screen the films?
Well, absolutely, the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History is important to us because it's not just a space; it's a staple in the city. As well, it's a cultural institution, and just the venue itself. Uh, they've just renovated. It's just a beautiful space and place, right? I will say this also when you realize it, um, there isn't there's there's really only one commercial theater in all of the city of Detroit.
Mhm.
And so we have to be creative about the spaces and the places that we screen the films. And so we lean on our arts organizations and institutions, um, for the screenings. And so you have the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. We have events that go on at the Carr Center, who's been, one of our partners from the beginning. The Bowl Family YMCA, again, family friendly type of space, but, honestly, they have one of the, uh, best projections as well. Filmmakers are very particular about how their film looks like on the screen as well, and it's a lot of people don't even realize when we bring people to these gyms that we have in the city, and the whole family YMCA is one of them because a lot of people don't realize that there actually is a theater in that space.
Mhm.
And then the Love Building, I just love saying that. That's a new, venue for us because, we love what they're doing. They have so many social justice organizations that are, um, uh, 501(c)(3)s that are actually in the building itself, and so we show a lot of social justice films, and we wanna connect with spaces that connect to the content that we're having and that we're screening as well. And then our, last space at the Love Building, Charles H. Wright, YMCA, and the Carr Center. So that's the 4 spaces.
And all of them artistic spaces welcoming culture too and uplifting that relationship to the culture of film. So talk a little bit, what's your take right now on the culture of film in Detroit and black film itself, but just film in general and black film right now in the city of Detroit? What's your take on what's happening culturally there?
I also wanna say that the reason we selected the venues that we did was because of, relationships, the
Mm,
relation and we want to be connected to organizations that have a connection to community. And so all of those so that's important for us. It's not is just as important for us as the content that we're curating with the spaces and the places that, we screen them in. We want them to be welcoming spaces. We want them to be spaces that are also contributing, to the arts, community, in a variety of different ways. We want them to be able to connect with the artists that, are in the community as well, um, and have a space and a place that's open to, like, having dialogue about what is almost like the future for creatives in the space and what they can also do to help support the creatives as well. So, it's not just about, space. That's where the relationship part comes in. Because you can pick a venue, right? You can rent the space out, but who is going to be that long-term partner with you that is gonna, really wrap their arms around the creative people that we're bringing into the space and, form relationships where they can grow, like, as artists as well. So that's really important to us.
okay. All right. Now, this is year 6. You've been doing these for so long as well.
Mhm.
Where do you see this relationship now, especially connecting the Taste of Black Spirits, going? So it's the Detroit Black Film Festival. What happens next? What's the creative imagination? Marshalle Favors. What's happening there? What do you see next in the future for this?
It's all about elevation.
Hmm.
What we're doing right now is it's great. It's, we're we're collaborating, we're bringing folks together, but it really needs to even elevate on a greater worldwide scale. It has to become one of um, the signature events that's recognized in the city, that's connected, not only to the overall arts community, but one that's really elevating Detroit on another level as it relates to the film industry specifically. Because, I mean, when you travel, folks already know. Like, when you think of Detroit, what do you think of first, right? You think of Motown, you think of music, you think of the automobile industry, and you think of cars, right? But there's almost a renaissance like going on where you're going to also think of it as a film
Mhm.
capital and hub as well. So it's all about elevation.
Well, I definitely am on edge of what's to come with it. I'm so glad I'm going to be presenting in it too, because this is, as I say, I'm an aspiring and growing filmmaker. But also, this is my first festival, so like, yeah, I'm gonna get my beret. I'm just messing with you.
Ah!
Get my the little what is that? The little filter, the long filter for a cigarette.
Ah!
Nah,
Be very cultured.
exactly. Be very cultured,
Really
you know.
good.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this and in that experience. And I know not just for me, but so many other creatives. You given a platform for this. This is it's rare because you know the website. I want to say what's that? Film Freeway.
Mhm. It's on Film Freeway.
And and you go on there. I only submitted to a couple. Um, but yours was definitely one in watching what Yusef did last year. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start submitting some of these works because there's so many projects that I'm sitting on. So I'm as much as I'm talking to me, so I'm uplifting this message to myself, but many others from the My Natural Hair show that I have that I'm sitting on, like what those cuts will look like, and I'm like, that's gonna be the one that I think will really be a home run. It's like I already have this piece. Let me learn it a little bit. So the creative process, we can have a lot of doubt, question, angst about how it'll be. I'm glad that I had a piece that was selected and can learn some of the arc about how to move forward in the film industry because it's hard to think that, okay, I'm still a content creator if a person asks me, but films are added and rolled into that. And that's all through something that you created here in my city for our people too.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And keep creating, and I love the words that you are just, imparting on your community right now, because if there's aspiring filmmakers that are out there, is there someone who just had an idea like
Mhm.
in their head, and they may be inspired, after that, to just say, okay, I did it, I'm gonna take that leap. I'm gonna make sure that I create something that the world can see, and there's a platform out there that I can submit to and show my work. So I appreciate that.
Definitely, definitely. Here's a offhand project I was also thinking about doing, like a film on like all the extras, the Detroit extras, right there. They're right there. I think that would be very funny. The like if you pause 8 Mile and 34 minutes in, 15 seconds, bam.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. I love that concept, right? Because no one ever forgets that time where they saw themselves like on the big screen. That's
Mm,
me. That's right there.
exactly.
I've done it myself. I've
Okay.
been a
You've been an
extra.
extra. You may be an extra more at
Mhm.
the collective. It's like you may look up, they like, "Hey, we need you in this scene. We need you to be a juror,
Yeah,
juror number 7."
we do help each other out like that,
Mhm,
often if, folks are just like, "Hey, who's free at this time?" And
mhm.
can do that. But, uh, I'll shout out
Your extra
my
moment.
yes, my extra moment that I'm, really, really,
You
like,
know, people are
excited
gonna
and proud
go
of,
people
right?
go online and try to find it now.
You can find it, but I'm telling you, if you turn your head, you gonna miss it. If you like, "Wait a minute, what was that it?" You will miss it. But and I didn't do it often. Like when I, first started out, actually that's how I learned. When one of the steps that I took to learn about the business is, I would travel. It wasn't here, but I would travel to spaces and places on sets where they were like, "Hey, can you fill in here?" And I'd either be a PA or I'd be an extra, and I would just observe and listen and learn, right? And so that's how I started out. But years like later, I wasn't interested in being an extra, like or anything like that. But there was one film that came to town, and it was being filmed by Mara Brock Akil
Mhm.
and her husband Salim Akil.
Mm.
If you know the Akils, um, Mara, she was one of she was the creator of Girlfriends.
Mhm.
And she has another Netflix, film that has been very highly esteemed, more recently.
Yeah, it's that series with, what's his name? The guy, Wood Harris, right?
Well, yes, Wood Harris is
Mhm.
in it as well, right?
Yeah.
And so because early on, I went to a film festival,
Mhm.
and it was actually Shirley Rouse Film Festival in
Mm.
Jamaica. It was the Jamaican Film Festival at the time, right?
Okay.
And she led a panel discussion. And she was at that time, Girlfriends was, like, very new, right? And so she was talking about the film, and so because I was inspired by, um, that moment, that connection, being in the room at that time, when they came here to do the movie Sparkle,
Aw.
I wanted to kinda reconnect in a way, and so I was like, "Well, if I'm gonna reconnect, just make myself available, be on the set," right? And so I was on the set as an extra. I did get a chance to speak just briefly, right? But I just honestly just wanted to say thank you, right? To
Mm.
say thank you. And so my extra moment
Mhm.
was coming out of the church
Okay.
and passing by Whitney Houston, the
Wow.
white Whitney Houston, very briefly
Mhm.
in the scene where she has, she's looking very regal and she has on the gold,
Yeah.
that moment. If you see this, I have this what distinguishes me is because I have this hat on,
A church hat?
right? I got the church hat on,
Okay.
you know, and so it's very high and um I just walk past me and that is my extra moment in the
I
same frame with the legendary Whitney Houston.
I'm gonna double down on that extra moment in all Detroit is Different history because
Oh,
actually, I saw this post the other day. Shout out to Brandon Williams, the drummer.
Brandon, right.
Brandon's put up a picture
Yes.
of himself like sweating profusely. He was like, "It was hot as ever, and I had to have on this army suit."
Right.
And Whitney Houston pulled me over to the side and said, "Say something to her." They said, "Don't say nothing to her," but I'm not gonna talk to Whitney Houston. And then he's like, "That's why I'm not an extra no more." But I was laughing at the picture he had.
Yes.
So I remember what Brandon posted, and now I know two people
It's
in
the
that
same
scene.
scene, right, it's the same scene. It is,
There
it's
you
the same
go.
and you're right, because on the set, they tell you, don't say anything to the actors, right, and I was a very g I every role I ever had, like, on
You
the set,
you
I
nailed it.
took it seriously,
You
right?
wasn't like, "Where Bobby at?" It's like,
Right,
"Oh, get him off set."
uh, so, I was sitting there, and they would just walk by or whatever, I'm just, like, looking and everything, and she sees me. Right, so, because I always am helpful on set in any role that I have as well too, right? So if I see someone need something, like I would get up, like, do it, things like that. But again, not saying a word, but just watching and observing. She noticed that. She noticed it, and she walked past me. It was funny also the way she did it because she walked past me, and then she backed up, like, scooted back, and she looked over at like a sharp turn, she looked over at me, and she just said, "Good morning."
Mm,
And I said, "Good morning, Miss Houston."
okay.
No, I said Mrs. Houston.
There you go.
Good morning, Miss Houston." And she every day after that, she spoke to me.
That's deep.
Yeah, and I always respected, when they say put respect in it, I never was like, "Hey, Whitney,"
Yeah.
nothing like that or anything, but I was always, like, very respectful and grateful now that I, had the experience in the moment, things like that, but, yeah, so that was my one, you know,
That moment.
yeah, that moment, and now it means even more to me now that she's, like,
Yeah,
passed on and
that's deep.
yeah.
See, don't be silly like me. I'm as serious as I can be, definitely serious about a lot of stuff. Oftentimes it's like a good joke, good time. It's like I gotta say something, I met Danny Glover. I was like, make sure he got enough ice. I was like, you gotta say that. You gotta say that. It's like hilarious. It was worth it. The joke was worth it. He kinda laughed at it too.
Yeah,
But
I got a Danny Glover I don't have to go into it, but, yeah, I have a Danny Glover moment as
mhm,
well. Yeah, I got a lot of moments. It's been a long
yeah,
journey. It's been a journey.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, I will say this, that 'cause, you meet icons, things like that, you may fan out, like, like, for a brief moment because 'cause you're like, "Oh," they're have the status and they've achieved so much in the industry, but I would say out of everyone that I have met, or interact with or work with, at the end of the day, it really comes down to, like, the art
Mm.
and, artists respecting other artists and having a love for the industry and a love for the craft. Everyone that I have encountered.
Well, with that, I'm so glad to welcome you back. Let people know where they can get tickets, when is it happening, and how to connect.
I love it, love it. So Detroit Black Film Festival, September 25th through the 28th. All the information is on Film Freeway. So the, the film festival plus the Taste of Black Spirits, the full schedule. It's going to be a great time.
There we go. With that being said, another Detroit is different. Peace.
See?
Detroit is different. Detroit is different. Culture and life we live in.